Hello, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Vampire the Eternal Struggle, and in particular the 4 sets that were made available from the recent Kickstarter. Now I did get hold of a load of stuff from that Kickstarter, but these are the 4 sets that the Kickstarter was actually for. So we've got the Anarchs Unbound, the Dance Macabre, and the Unaligned Set 1 and Set 2. I'll probably do a video on each, just to stop it being a monolithic slab of stuff. I might do these 2 sets together, we'll see. So we're going to start with the Anarchs Unbound, and then if I get time I will look at all the other stuff I got hold of, which included deck protectors and other promos and a whole load of other packs. So I think I'm pretty much all up to date with all the currently in print Vampire stuff from the Chantry. So unaligned, see you later. Same with the Dance Macabre. So the Anarchs, as you can see, during the 2010s, basically it wasn't in print, and there was a load of I guess community created cards, and they're in here. So you've got a fixed set of 90 cards, and that's 48 crypt cards, 42 library cards, with all sorts of weird and wonderful names that are no doubt mispronounced, and a nice cover image there, of course. So let's get this packaging open. So as is typical, you get the box open, and then the cards inside are also shrink wrapped, and these boxes are a little bit useless really once you've opened them, because I like to sleeve my cards. Obviously for storage you don't necessarily need to sleeve them, but you know, Magic the Gathering's taught me black edge cards look really nice until you handle them, and then they very quickly get worn edges. And although they're probably not going to be quite as valuable as, for example, a Black Lotus, you know, I like to preserve my cards so I get many years of play out of them, and also, you know, if I decide to sell them on, whoever's lucky enough to buy from me will get a nice near mint condition card. So anyway, we get this open and we then start looking at the cards inside. So we've got 2 of Apollonius, and as you notice there's a little dink on the corner there. That's the only problem with black edge cards, but he's got a nice load of abilities here. So he's an Anarch, so gets +1 bleed for each titled vampire controlled by the target Methuselah, and he's apparently a Baron of London, can enter combat with a minion as a, forgotten what that symbol is, and he's got 10 blood, so he's a real beastie to get out. And yeah, there you go, so that's him. Ariane, we got 2 of her, she's a bit cheaper. 3 gets -1 stealth during undirected actions, so yeah, not so good at undirected actions, a few less items there. So Genghis, he's a 3 as well, he's an Anarch of course. If he's blocked by a titled vampire he does not unlock as normal, that's a bit of a pain, and he gets +1 Auspex and Celerity. Yeah, with the 2 thing, I'll have to double check what some of these icons do. Marguerite Foucault, 6, gets +1 strength in combat with the titled vampire, and then +1 strength. Salvador Garcia, 7. Yeah, so while he's ready, anyone with Anarch cost 1 fewer blood, so he's a good one to get out, makes your other stuff cheaper. So Jenna Cross, cards that cost blood cost 1 additional blood to play because she's sterile, and 4. Maldavis, she's another 4. Primogen get +1 vote in referendums called by her, and Baron of Chicago potentially. Tori Longwood, Anarch, after your minion phase ends, lock Tori if she did not perform an action this turn. Okay, so she needs to be doing something. She's a 4. Then we've got Crow, who's a 5. He's also an Anarch, but doesn't have much, but he's got, you know, obviously the abilities. Danielle Duran, Anarch, during the polling step of any referendum, can burn a 1 blood to get +1 vote, and potentially Baron of Berlin. Vulture, once each turn, an Anarch you control can unlock after successfully equipping with a vehicle from your hand. So obviously you're going to need vehicle cards. 7, got quite a few ability icons there. Zack North, Anarch. Once each round of combat, Zack can burn 1 blood to make damage from his hand. Strikes become aggravated, and he's a 6 blood. Dancing Dana, while in combat, +1 hand side, 6 blood. Philip Van Vermeer IV. He's an Anarch, obviously. Should be a bit of a theme, as it's, after all, the Anarch deck. You and Philip can play cards requiring a Ventru as if you were a Ventru. Interesting. 7. Then we get into some nice funky guys here. So the Medic. During your turn, you can burn the edge to add 1 blood to an Anarch you control. And he's got 6 blood. Sundown. Oh, that's very small text. If Sundown is ready during the polling step of any referendum, you can discard a political action card to force any vampire to abstain. That could be pretty powerful. 6. Desiree. Not much going on there, but loads of icons and 6 blood. Irina. That's from the cover. 5 blood. Obviously, some nice icons. Victor Gerard. You and Victor can play cards requiring a Camarilla vampire as if Victor were a Camarilla. While Victor is a Baron, you and Victor can play cards requiring a Prince as if Victor were a Prince. Interesting. 7. Javier Montoya. During your minion phase, can burn 1 blood to unlock a younger ready Anarch. Baron of Barcelona, potentially. 9. Monica Chang. Anarch 3. Not much going on there. Dahlia. After Dahlia enters combat, she can gain 1 blood. Okay, that's potentially quite nice. Boss Callan gets -1 intercept against Sabbat vampires. Potentially Baron of New York there. 5. Louis. Anarch gets +1 level of Dominate and Presence. Okay, now we get into the non-vampire cards by the looks of it. So requires an Anarch. So depending on your icon, only usable during a bleed action, +1 bleed. Only usable during the polling step. This Anarch gets +3 votes. If Anarch is blocked, they get +1 strength. So 2 of those. I think you pretty much get 2 of every card actually. Bolix. Maneuver or press. Cancel a name, frenzy or grapple card. Strike, hand strike at +1 damage. This damage cannot be prevented by cards requiring fortitude. The opposing vampire strikes with weapons inflict no damage. Oh, we've actually got 3 of those. Carfax Abbey, only 1 of those. 2 requires a ready Anarch, unique location, and it's also a hunting ground. During your unlock phase, a ready Anarch you control can gain 1 blood, and if you control a ready Baron, another ready Anarch can gain 1 blood as well. A vampire can gain blood from only 1 hunting ground each turn. Donnybrook, got 3 of those. Requires an Anarch, only usable at close range. Strike, burn equipment or retainer. Strike, aggravated. Strike, steal 2 blood or life, which then becomes blood. Okay. Dust Up, 3 of those. Requires an Anarch. Strike, +1 damage. Dodge with 1 additional strike. Hand strike at +2 damage. So obviously the icons, pretty important. It's just a shame the icons are a little bit small. I would have liked to seen those being a bit bigger. Eat the Rich. Political action, 1 vote. Choose 1 or more Methuselahs. Successful referendum means each chosen Methuselah burns 1 pool, +3 additional pool if they control a ready titled vampire. If this referendum, each Priscus gets -1 ballot. Okay, and each non-Priscus gets -1 vote, and burning the edge is worth 1 additional vote. Field Training, got 2 of those. +1 stealth action, requires an Anarch, 1 blood. Unlock this vampire, choose a discipline they have at superior, and put this card on another ready non-titled vampire you control. The attached vampire is considered Anarch and gets +1 level of the chosen discipline. If the attached vampire changes sec, burn this card, and you can only have 1 field training. So obviously you're going to need a way of tracking the ability you gave them. Guardian, that's 3 of those. Requires an Anarch, more than 1. Okay, so you can play more than 1 of this. Anarch attempts to block, +1 intercept, 1 optional maneuver, and does not lock for blocking. So quite nice. Hacker Space, so 2 of those. Card comes into play with 1 counter for each Anarch you control. After an Anarch comes into play under your control, or after a vampire you control becomes an Anarch, Add 1 counter to this card. Now you can use these counters to pay for some of the blood, so that's quite nice. 3 illegalisms. So requires an Anarch. More than 1 disciple can be used to play this card. So you've got bleed there. Unlock this Anarch if the bleed is successful. This Anarch has +1 stealth or +1 bleed. Legacy, 2 of those. +2 stealth action. Requires an unmerged advanced vampire. Unlock this vampire. Search your crypt. Shuffle afterwards. Uncontrolled region and or ash heap for the base version and merge with them. Okay. So allows you to upgrade. Make the misery, 3 of them. Requires an Anarch. More than 1 discipline can be used to play this card. Enter combat with the locked minion. This Anarch gets 1 optional maneuver or +1 stealth or +1 stealth. Memory Rift. So 2 of them. Requires an Anarch. Only usable as an action is announced. Chosen titled vampire or younger vampire cannot block. +1 stealth, and if this action is blocked, this Anarch can strike. Okay. Net War, 2 of those. Requires an Anarch. Look at the active Methuselah's hand. Choose another ready minion you control. The chosen minion unlocks and attempts to block. Give another minion you control +1 intercept. Nidunimatre. Okay, quite a lot of text there. That's quite hard to read. This action is blocked. The opposing minion cannot maneuver. Vampires must burn 1 blood to attempt to block. If this action is blocked, the Anarch gets +1 strength. So yeah, quite a lot going on that one. 3 of these. Propaganda of the Deed. Requires an Anarch. Only usable after resolution of a successful directed action. Put this card in play. You can burn this card during the polling step of a political action to get +2 votes. And then I think we're almost at the end here. Yeah, Protection Racket. Requires an Anarch, +1 intercept with an additional 1 intercept if the active vampire is titled. And then the red question requires a non-titled vampire, non-Anarch vampire. Put this card on this vampire. It's now considered an Anarch. Burn this card if the vampire changes sect. So all sorts of funky icons and extra rules. Now I haven't actually played much vampire. I did record a session of me playing sort of against myself. Unfortunately I had to burn that because there was a few errors and the cards kept drifting up out of frame and stuff. So I will attempt to do that again. But there are a few icons in here I'm not so familiar with because I'm fairly new to the game. And that's the one thing that would have been nice if in here it just had a little booklet to let you know about the particular icons that maybe have been introduced here. But I guess that's the idea of the new starter set, is it's got all the rules in there straight away. So yeah, not a bad little set, I think. Big on the Anarchs, obviously, as per the title. It'll be interesting to see what the Dance Macabre brings to the table. So anyway, that's will do for this little video. See you in the next one, and until then, happy gaming.